Version 4.2 release notes. Lots of bug fixes in this one, but a few good backlog items as well. So starting off, we have the ability for partners to block the admin access and pause websites for clients who aren't paying. It's a great feature. Hopefully we don't need this too much, but yeah, so basically in the gear icon up the top, we have account suspension. And we have two modes. We've got a soft suspend and a hard suspend. So basically the soft suspend, we'll save that and have a look. When you go to load the front end, we should get this banner pops up. So the visitor can clear it and keep navigating the site, but obviously it's going to keep appearing for every page. So obviously your clients wouldn't want that, but that's just sort of a soft suspension. And then we have the hard suspension, which blocks the site entirely. So if we try and access it, nothing loads from the original site, just get the unavailable page. And of course you can totally customize the content of either of those. So you've got the content view for the soft and the hard suspension. Just a note with the soft suspension, if you completely override the code that's in here, this code is also doing the little pop-up banner. So it's not just the content within that banner, it's the whole banner as well. So if you completely override this content, it'll just show at the top of the template. So you would need to implement your own pop-up or however you want to do that. So just a note on that. And the hard suspension is a complete page. So that's a good one to have. Then we have the ability to have multiple domain names point to an actual landing page. So we can add the domain name the same way as we would normally through the client the partner portal, but now those domains are showing up under settings, domains, and we'll have a list of them here. And you can see the start page is listed. Clicking on the link here will actually open that link. So you want to actually click the edit button to assign a page or any other module from the system. So you just choose if it's a blog post you want to link to or whatever it is, and they'll list down there. Now just simply clicking on this will actually assign it and save it. So that changes are applied. So there's no save button or anything like that. You just click it and it's done. You can see that now that's showing there. So just be wary of that. Now, as of this moment, my tests, this wasn't actually working for me. I'm not sure if it was because, not on this particular site, but on a live site, because I had my DNS through Cloudflare, may have had something to do with it. I'm not sure, just need to hit support up for that one, but hopefully that'll be all working well soon. And there's a bit of a flow here on how it all sort of works if no pages are set or whatever, so you can have a read through that. We've got an update to Liquid to include date and time filters, so this is a good one. We've got obviously just some ways of formatting the date for date standards, but probably most importantly is the date add function, so we can do proper date calculations. So all the details are there on how you might use that and the syntax. That'll all be going into the documentation soon. We have the contact assignment to a secure zone. So just the ability to set and edit the expiry date of a customer to a secure zone. And then the other two backlogs here are related to the same sort of thing. Just saying that if a form submission subscribes someone to a secure zone, if the expiry date isn't specified in the form, then it will just be set to the default date, 31st December 999. And also likewise, if the expiry date is greater than the current date. Obviously their access has expired, so they'll get an access denied error. We have it just a change from SEO title is now meta title, just for system consistency. So if you look at the data being output in the liquid, we actually have both now, so SEO title and meta title, just for backwards compatibility, I guess. So just be aware that they're both in there. I would probably start using meta title if that's the newer function. We'll probably see SEO title become redundant over time and perhaps removed. So time zone for form submissions is now showing in the correct time zone. So just quickly under CRM form submissions, so the date here we see in the admin now respects the time zone of the site. Unfortunately, the format of the date is still non-time zone specific or location specific, but at least the time zone is right, so that's good. We've got the customize the create new item name in modules. So this more refers to nested custom modules, or if you're on a plan where you have access to the settings for the built-in modules like galleries and blogs, things like that. But so if I use the documentation site as an example, under custom modules, so I have a demo nested module here. So web technologies is the parent module, which sort of sets up the groups or categories, and then technology types are the child items for within each of those groups. So when you're creating a new item, you click the create new button if it's set up this way, and it says create new technology types or create new web technologies, which isn't strictly correct because we're looking at the difference between the pluralized version of that name and the singular name. So we'd want to see the singular name here just to make it a little bit nicer for clients when they're using this. But in some cases you may actually want to change the name altogether. So if the case here, I may not want to call it technology types. I might want to just say technology groups or technology sections or headers or something like that. So under the settings now, we have an additional field here, so alternate item. We now have this support for WebP images. So it's good. UI improvements. So in the file manager, we now have the ability to download the file and duplicate a file, as well as those same actions for folders. So we can duplicate a whole folder or download the whole folder, which is handy. In modules, so where we have modules that utilize the added by or the author attributes, we can now link straight to those items. So for example, actually I'll go into here. So the added by, if we actually added an owner for this, we'd then be able to click through to their CRM record directly from here. And also if you have the author property activated for a module, the same type of thing, you can link straight through to that author item. URL redirects with 302 status changed to 301. So I wasn't familiar with this request or issue before, but apparently we now have 301 redirects. They must have been 302s before. Okay, now we've got some bug fixes. There's quite a few here, so I'll run through them pretty quick. URL redirects with a .html extension weren't previously working. I think they are now. There is another note here they've included with the release note saying usability issue when you make a change to the URL and go back, it takes you back to the first page of results instead of where you're at to. So if you've got a lot of URL redirects and it's using pagination in the admin, once you finish making one, you go back, you wouldn't be in the same page that you're working in. So I haven't had a site with so many redirects that I've experienced that, but I'm not sure if that's actually fixed in here or they've just included that for some reason, so that may be fixed as well. Import-export doesn't react to the disable for site search, so importing items with disable for site search wasn't honoured, so that should be now. Change time zone event in calendar displays 1 day back. So there's an issue here where if you change the time on your computer, it would actually affect the event date shown on the calendar. So that should be fixed. We had custom module and event pagination displays weren't displaying the results when you went to the additional pages if they were paginated. So the new image manager in the WYSIWYG section wasn't displaying JPEG images, so you couldn't select those to add to the WYSIWYG. So we should be able to do that now. And again, the new image manager in the WYSIWYG editor would not show the breadcrumbs of where you were at if you reopened it for a second time. They'd sort of get a bit messed up. Then we have the expiration date input field when you add a create or update item form for user submitted modules, with just a type change from text input to a date input, just so that we get the default HTML5 date picker as opposed to just a text field. And there was just a feature issue where sites on the business plan were showing advanced settings for custom modules that should have been in a higher up level plan, so fortunately we've had that fixed. And setting the home page would be reverted to disabled if you edited that page via the nice editor. And then we've got default priority doesn't save during import. So when you're importing items where you've had the SEO priority default setup, like in the settings, the import wouldn't honour that default value that you had. So it's just still saving blank. So now that's fixed. The new image manager, again with the breadcrumbs in the new image manager via the WYSIWYG, wasn't showing the complete path of where you're at as well if you're several folders deep. But now it shows all the full path so you can navigate a little bit easier in there. Set up time zone on create item in custom module. So again with the user submitted custom module items, when you first submitted the item, the release and expiry dates weren't based on the website time zone. They were after the fact when you look at them again in the admin, but not on that initial submission. Okay, and lastly, again there was an expiry days issue with user submitted custom module items. Just it wasn't honouring the site time zone again, and it was calculated from just the system time zone. So that's fixed as well. Okay, so yeah, a lot of bug fixes, and yeah, really looking forward to using the date filters calculations there. That'll come in handy. Okay, thank you.